I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.
Personally, I'm not sure exactly what took so long. I'm not actually sure why anybody would want to publicly argue something like this. In my opinion, this is an extremely dangerous and sad hill to die on. Even if you don't believe in certain things, you're not supposed to publicly admit it because it can be held against you at a later time. Even if you have some of these thoughts or some of these views, some of them go against what the public would consider acceptable to the point that even if you don't agree, you might want to pretend that you do for the optics. Arizona content sites to cut off access will require IDs in Arizona. Sites like Pornhub. Even even if you do not agree with, um, I guess you can call it the censorship, but even if you don't agree that children should need IDs to view porn, it is not necessarily the best idea, in my opinion, to say that out loud because it brings up other implications. What else are you for when it comes to if there's anything we can all be on the same page about, it is protecting children from predators, protecting them from grooming. It's just that for a lot of us adults today, when we were kids, these were not things we had to worry about. I remember when I was a kid, waiting until my parents were gone, and like you had this really fuzzy channel that was called the Spice Channel, and you would try to see if you can make out an ankle or a toe or a shoulder blade, and you're like, look, look, look. That's how difficult it was for me to look at porn when I was a teenager. I remember literally you would have to make sure your family's out of town. And it was kind of like this underground market between you and your buddies. Everyone's trying to pass videos around. But we used to have magazines sometimes when I was a kid. Like it was difficult. Nowadays, it's way more dangerous because it's easier to access. And also, we don't necessarily know the extensive, intricate harms of exposing young children to sex at an early age because we did not have that option at that age. And our parents even had less access and so on before that. So we're in this new is it an inconvenience? Slightly. I remember being in Texas a few months ago. I live in Texas, and I was on a date, and we were partying, but we're hitting hot heavy. I wanted to make sure the engine was to make sure that the engine was running. And then I don't know, my phone's in my pocket. It's dialing stuff. Next thing you know, our site's up on my phone. I'm like, well, what's this? And it tells me it's blocked in my state. Blah blah blah. And I was like, what's the big deal? Why? Like, I thought this was all a thing where they would check. I never thought about it. They just ask you if you're 18. What if you're like not 18 and you can say I am? Like that's it. Like I can't go to a sex store where they have dirty magazines as a 13-year-old and just walk in there and say, "Hey, John, pass me some of those plates." I can't do it. It's illegal. So I can't do that. Why would it make sense that if I have access to a cell phone or to a computer, that I should be able to just see all types of debauchery? It's. I thought this was something that should have been implemented a long time ago, and there's really very little reason to counter it. Now, what they are saying is that there's issues with privacy. But again, I'm in Arizona right now, and I was partying again, and the whole engine situation came up, and I was like, okay, and then my phone's dialing in my pocket. I'm drinking. I'm like, what the hell is this? And it was the same thing, but in Arizona, they were like, oh, you got to go through these. It took like 30 seconds, but it was weird. They did want a selfie from you, and I don't know, asking for a selfie of me so that I can look at porn, and you're like looking at your phone, and you're like, you don't want that's uncomfortable. I don't want you seeing my pre-porn face. Even if I got my girlfriend with me, me and her are both like that's not. You don't want to do that. It's not a good look. You don't look your best. Your pre-porn face is not flattering. But they did want a selfie or whatever. At least they give you the option, but they didn't ask for anything else. So they didn't ask for a copy of your ID. They just asked for a selfie, and then boom, you have access. So I don't know, but anyway, this just happened here in Arizona. I always tell my personal business because I'm talking to a screen right now, so it feels like it's just us. There's no one else here, right? And I only have 5 or 10 subscribers, so it's not like there's anybody watching any of my content anyway. None of you guys share my stuff. None of you guys subscribe. You don't tell your friends. So there's no one here. It's just me and you. So if you want to, you can buy me a drink on the Cash App $ the single boyfriend. Um, if you do, I did a donation yesterday, and I made the same pre-porn face. I was like, oh, what's this? So if you want to maybe make that face again, go ahead and send me a few bucks. I can buy a coffee. But this is the report. This is one of the reports that's explaining what's happening in Arizona and the other states that this is happening in.
Now, if you visit Pornhub in Arizona, you won't immediately see videos. You'll find this warning, a pop-up telling you you will lose access.
Right now, if a child goes to their pornography website, it just says, are you 18 years old? Yes or no. If a child's already gone there, they're not going to click no and be like, well, they caught me. I'm not 18.
But beginning
I don't know. I didn't like the way that guy's camera was angled. He's looking down at it, same way I was looking down at my phone when I was watching. So I feel like maybe he was literally, as soon as his interview was over, he took that selfie. He watched some for himself. I'm just saying.
Friday, screen goes black. Arizona joins a growing list of states where Pornhub, one of the most visited porn sites in the world, won't appear on the screen.
Obviously, California will not be on the list since it is the porn capital. Bass or just anything in the valley is completely sanctioned, and that's all the porn is created. I know this because I live in LA and I've dated many a porn star, and they all live out of the valley. If they rent those houses out there that nobody wants because you're in the middle of the desert in California, far from the beach, close to the Kardashians, and they turn those houses into content houses to shoot porn. So, but yeah, that's California's on that list. I'm surprised New Mexico and Oklahoma. Wait a minute, that's not Oklahoma. That's Colorado. I believe that's Colorado. Utah, Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Nebraska, America. I don't know. I'm starting to get these little Midwest flyover states mixed up, but I'm surprised them are not participating, which is strange. I don't know what hill are you on. Now. If you're going to say this is about privacy, okay, but if if kids are required to have ID to go into a sex store, yes, they are not taking a picture of your ID every time you go in. That's a good point, but it's still just to protect children from being exposed to pornographic material. I believe we can all agree on that, or at least 19 states can agree on that. And this is what I mean about the civil fissures in this country. We're not on the same page. A lot of people in this country want to sexualize kids, and they want to make it legal to actually be in relationships with kids. That's why I tell people all that love is love stuff. That's just, that means love is love regardless of age. If I'm 58 and the person I'm in love with is 8, but they feel like they're 28, and I feel even at 58 I'm 9, then the money and all types of strange and pedophilic stuff happens, and that's what they're trying to push for. That's everything. The whole left. If they legalize that today under the Trump administration, or they just decriminalized it like they did in California, the war would be over. No more assassinations. No more left and the right. That's the only thing they want. But that's the only thing we can't give them is our kids. I mean, we can't compromise that, right? I would hope. I would hope you guys all agree if you're in my audience.
The reason? A new law requiring users to prove their age with a government ID.
I don't love adding regulation if I don't have to. That's not my intent. My intent is to protect children.
But Pornhub's parent company, Alo, says this is different. Collecting government IDs online, they argue, puts users at risk. Sharing this statement saying in
Here in Arizona, they did not ask for any identification from me. They just wanted a selfie, and I gave them I gave them that one. That's the best I could do at the moment.
part, any regulations that require hundreds, thousands of adult sites to collect significant amounts of highly sensitive personal information is putting user safety in jeopardy. State Rep Nick Kupar argues this risk is one many of us already take.
People who argue about, well, this is unsafe because I have to upload my data online, we have all already done this. In fact, we leave our data uploaded online to make it convenient for ourselves. So I don't see that as an issue.
My argument would be, why do we got to do it again? If our data is already on the internet, can't you just pull it from somewhere else? I mean, but then again, like, are you gonna connect the DMV to porn sites? I don't know. I mean, everything is decentralized, so I guess that's why we have to do it again. So I don't think he's making a good point, in my opinion. But the way he's looking at this camera, something about it is just unsettling. And I don't know if it's just me.
But there's another wrinkle: VPNs. Anyone who wants to can mask their Arizona location and get around the ban.
I think with
So basically, a VPN is when you can change it's an app software that'll change your IP address location. So even though you're in Arizona, you can it'll create a false a false a false IP address and that says you're in California, and then that way you can get around the ban. People use those when you're at gambling sites, like FanDuel or something. You live in another country, or say you live in Texas, you can use a virtual VPN number to get around those bans. I don't think it's necessarily healthy for people to be telling kids who speak English how to get around this so you can listen to porn, but here we are.
everything to do with the internet, there's never going to be a perfect fix around. There's never going to be there will always be holes to everything.
And again, Arizona.
What an odd thing to say during a story about porn. I mean, there had to be another phrase he could have went with, but that's fine. We'll just go with that for now. Yes. So new restrictions about are about to affect the access to adult content sites in Arizona. Everyone keeps saying Pornhub. It's not just Pornhub. It's all pornography websites. So I guess Pornhub is just the biggest. Again, just pause. It's just wording. We got to work on these words before we say them. We got to be more conscientious. A law passed. A law earlier this year will go into effect on Friday. So I guess it would have been the other day. When it will cut off access to adult content sites for Arizonans, or require sites to verify users' age with government issues. Again, they didn't do that. And this went signed into law by Katie Hobbs. Strange because she's a Democrat. Democrats love the stuff, so I'm shocked that she even did that. The new law websites accountable if they fail to implement reasonable age verification. And they were talking about the penalties too. I think it's 250,000 for even one infraction, which seems like a lot. There's another episode about it. There's another episode too. We'll play a piece of this.
Anyone to log into adult websites to disclose personal information before viewing any online content.
This is raising security concerns with hacks of adult sites like Ashley Madison still in people's minds. Names, emails, even home addresses of millions of users were exposed. So joining us live with some insight into the security side of things, we have Ken Colburn, the CEO of Data Doctors Incorporated. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Let's get your reaction right off the bat about this new law.
Well, it is a law that other states have already passed and have implemented, so we have some understanding of what can and can't be done. ID checks are not new. You go to a restaurant or a bar and they want to make sure you're old enough to drink. They ask you for your ID, you hand it to them, they take a look at it, and they give it back to you. Unfortunately, this version of it is like that bartender taking your ID, going into a back room, making a photocopy, giving your ID back, and saying, "Don't worry, we'll take care of throwing away the information that we gathered from you."
And so you can use an ID or a credit card. I mean, that just sounds dangerous to me.
Yeah, the problem is, and it's not likely like the Madison or the actually Madison situation was their database. Most likely situation is that these sites are going to use third services that
I can already foresee it where they're going to say, "You want to admit to us that you're using Pornhub back in 2025? There was a reach in data breach. You may be entitled to a settlement." I can see a a Pornhub class action lawsuit because of a data breach that they didn't want to tell us about, that security expert warned them about, and told them that they were hacked and hundreds of thousands of people's selfies going like, with their IDs because they were watching some of their content was just leaked. And no one's really going to want to sue and join because no one's going to want to admit that they were on here watching porn. Okay, because you know what everybody said. If something happens to me, get to my house. Don't go to the safe. Just erase my browser history. And I think people say that for good reason.
that's really what the concern is. Are these third parties? Are they U.S. based? There are consortiums out there trying to create legitimate, reliable versions of this as kind of a third party service provider, where they're not going to keep the information. They have an audit process, these kinds of things. But the problem, it's just like anything else. We're trying to fix one problem, and then we create other problems as a result. If this continues to go live in states across the U.S., I think we're going to see more and more scammers pretending like they are a porn site, trying to gather, IDs and personal information. So it's, there's no clean way to get this thing done.
I think that if hackers pretend to be porn sites and they reach out to you to request your information, maybe that means that you've been flagged for looking at entirely too much porn. And maybe you should be banned or sent to some kind of camp because what the hell? If hackers are cold calling you about watching porn, then yeah, something ticked them off. You might want to check your screen time because that makes literally sense to me.
It does provide some level of, protection for younger children that maybe happen to stumble upon a site. It's just kind of a casual thing, but tech savvy teens already know how to get around these ID verification processes. So
Yeah, an adult that's a part of a team knows how to get around it. This is for kids who are not as savvy. Um, maybe a 16-year-old kid can figure it out, but 16 damn near grown. We're talking about 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Those are the ages. They're not out here doogie housering it and figuring out how to do surgeries and use VPNs. I'm sure that it's not going to be just, it's not, you don't want to just give easy access to forbidden um, footage of, you know, things that are of equal nature if you don't have to, and it's not mandatory. So yes, if your kid is out here, if there's a will, there's a. I remember the porn store. We used to walk by it on the way home from school. There was like this little, it was a black door, but it had like beads hanging down in front of it, and there was no sign outside. But you knew it was something in there. The place smelled like I don't know, like burnt rubber every time you walked by. It was like this weird, I don't know. But and we would dare, me and my friends, we would be like 10, 11, we would dare each other to run in there and look around out. So we would, go in there. They couldn't stop us from running in there and running out. So yeah, if there's a will, there's a way. But what we want to prevent is extremely right now. It's way too easy. Anybody with a smart device, if you even just go to a regular. I was on Facebook Marketplace looking for I'm looking for a Shure microphone, right? And so I'm trying to use a Viper or whatever. And magically, it was people having sex on Facebook Market. I'm like, what the hell is this doing here? This is not supposed to be here, but yet here it was. So yeah, you got to remove easy access. Come on, dude.
It's not like it's really gonna. If you're a parent out there thinking that this law is gonna suddenly give you relief in that area, fortunately, I'm the bearer of bad news. It's not.
When you mentioned getting around it, Ken,
Again, we can't speak about relief in certain areas. That's pause. We got to watch our language here, people. We're talking about porn. Can we please refrain from using words that will make Rico laugh?
and obviously VPNs play a role in this. Can you explain to our viewers at home who may not be familiar what a VPN is and how that works?
Yeah, VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, and basically, they can download somebody's ID that they find online and use it.
Why the hell? Why the hell are you telling people how to commit crimes? I'm not going to even play the rest of this video. They're literally telling people. See, kids can watch this. They can't watch Pornhub, but the kids can watch this. And then you're basically giving them instructions on how to get around it. How irresponsible is I'm just a guy podcasting, screaming at my computer. I'm nobody. These are supposed to be data doctors, and he's literally describing how to get around basically telling kids how to basically circumvent these rules. Like, what are these people as adults? Are you not realize? Do you not hear yourself, sir? Jesus, I'm not going to play the rest of it. Unbelievable. Well, look, in Arizona now is restricted. You got to upload a selfie. Texas and these other states. I mean, to be honest with you, there's no such thing as privacy. You can't even expect it anymore in this age. It would be nice to give it away anyway. People literally share locations with each other. Now, me as an Android user, I don't have any clue what that's about. But apparently, these strange cult-like iPhone people have been doing that for like a couple of years now, sharing their exact location with other people. Like that's crazy. As an Android person, I'm appalled to find out all this just insanity that's going on with these iPhones. But I digress. Anyway, like the video, share it. I'm on 8 different platforms. If you have an opinion or you want to counter me, please send me a message, $ the single boyfriend on Cash App. Thank you for the tips yesterday. I went in and ate brisket, drank Starbucks. It was really good. And I appreciate those tips. And I did respond to your super chats and I got your emails. Yes, and I am open to doing other segments on other people's channels. I'm building this one up, so thank you. We have over 2,500 subscribers now, which is a huge milestone because I was at like 400 on this channel barely a couple weeks ago. So I really do appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching my shorts, etc. Thank you very much. Yeah, that was another bad word. We can't say short either. And when we're talking about this topic, that's me. I own that one. So anyway, like, subscribe, share the video. I'll be back with the topic in about 10 minutes. We'll be back on live. So just stay tuned and keep tuning in. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again shortly.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.